Hey, microphone check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Welcome to
Hello, microphone check from Kyle. Good morning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
From WXOW, this is La Crosse's own News 19 Daybreak.
term limits are a hot-button discussion item when it comes to political office. This morning, outgoing Congressman Ron Kind will share his thoughts after decades in the position. Plus, your mailbox is probably full of them, but do they actually work? We'll dive into the effectiveness of political mailers. Well, good morning. It is 4:30. I'm Mike Biermeister.
And I'm Kyle Weiss. It's Thursday, October 13th.
That's right. We are into Thursday after a very long Wednesday. Happy to be here. And obviously the cool down's coming. We won't focus on that just yet. We'll focus on how your Halloween decorating is going over at your place, Kyle. Is it on the up and up or hasn't started yet?
It's slowly coming together. I mean, you got like some wreaths that kind of have like a little bit of pumpkins on them.
Okay,
so they're pumpkin-y. They're kind of like fall, like maybe a little bit of like some like those fall colors, like kind of leaves on there. The autumn,
like a cornucopia style, maybe a little bit like that.
And throw a few of those spiced candles around. Not quite Christmas candles, but.
No, you're not there yet.
Yeah, more
we're
of
on
those.
Halloween. I've got a bunch of fall candles all over my apartment, so I think we're on the same page here.
Exactly. I mean, it's just going to feel more and more like fall, especially as we get into the rest of our work week. We're already starting to see some falling temperatures. 45 degrees right now over La Crosse. Still seeing a mostly cloudy sky. Feels like temperatures are at 38 degrees because we still do have some winds out of the west at 15 miles per hour. So there's a little bit of a wind chill there. Visibility, no issues there. And we're slowly going to see a little bit more winds coming out of the northwest throughout our day, just like the past few days. Looking like we're at the coolest towards Decorah and Preston at 37 degrees there. The rest of us anywhere in those low to even mid 40s, and we really won't see temperatures warming up too much higher today. Winds all coming out of the west, even northwest for now. We'll expect a very similar pattern just like the past few days. And there's even a little bit of some rainfall as we look at Buffalo and Trempealeau counties, just giving us some very light to almost moderate precipitation traveling further and further down south towards Black River Falls. As we zoom out a little bit, we can expect a similar pattern. There's even a little bit of mix and even some snow. That's in northern Wisconsin, and we can try and see a little bit of that try to make its way towards Friday, but really we'll only see a few slight chances of some showers today.
Always fun to get familiar with the S word again, and that's snow.
Yeah, just getting closer and closer towards wintertime.
All right, well, thanks for that, Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, we begin with the News 19 exclusive. 26 years is a long time to spend in any career these days, especially elected office. And there are some who would like to see that doesn't happen. News 19's Dustin Lukey spent some time in Washington with retiring Congressman Ron Kind to talk a little bit about that very topic.
We hear the phrase so often during the run-up to elections, career politician. And with possible term limits on the ballot in the 3rd Congressional District, I asked Representative Ron Kind how he defends 13 terms in office. He says it comes down to the very idea of democracy itself. In the House, members of Congress are up for review every 2 years.
It's a judgment that the people have to make for themselves. If they like your representation, the work that you're doing for them, why take that choice away from them? And quite frankly, having been here for a while, we do need people who understand how this institution works. And a lot of it's based on relationship building. You don't develop that overnight. You know, the ability to reach across the aisle, get to know your colleagues, especially my Republican colleagues, and get in the same room with them and develop that trust and confidence in each other that you can work on and resolve issues. If we're cycling members of Congress in and out on a regular basis, you're never going to be able to develop those bonds to be able to work effectively together. And you're going to empower the staff all that much more, both in Congress and in the federal agencies, to make all the decisions. And that is not, I think, what our founders envisioned for representative democracy.
The congressman adds that the founders also envisioned the chemistry to make Washington work. And he says by getting to know colleagues of all political stripes, it naturally becomes harder to bash them or call them names, ultimately leading to getting more done for the good of the people.
All right, thanks for that, Dustin. Well, coming up at 5:30 this morning, just what goes into a day in the life of a member of Congress and how Representative Kind has made it work for 2.5 decades. Well, Wisconsin voters will cast their ballots in less than a month for the midterm election. Right now, the latest Marquette University Law School poll shows a toss-up in the race for governor and a widening lead for Senator Ron Johnson. In a survey of 800 registered voters in Wisconsin, the poll found the governor's race is just about even. 47% favoring Democratic Governor Tony Evers, while 46% favor Republican challenger Tim Michels. In the race for Senate, Republican incumbent Ron Johnson's lead over Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes is growing. Johnson is favored by 52% of poll participants, compared to 46% to favor Barnes. Now, in September, Barnes only trailed by 1 percentage point. As you've seen on our station and others, the election season generates a lot of political advertisements across all platforms. But even in the age of digital, we still see candidates using informational mail sheets that will be sent directly to voters. Many mailboxes are full with those mailers from different political candidates. So we asked a UW La Crosse political science professor if those flyers make any difference on election day.
It's just become a tradition of sorts, because in the past, campaigns have used mailers. It's been assumed that they have some sort of effect. We don't know exactly what kind of effect, but it's assumed that they work to some extent. And so campaigns keep using them even as they also advance to more technological and digital forms of advertising.
And sticking on the topic of elections, Friday is the gubernatorial debate against Governor Tony Evers and his opponent Tim Michels, which will be aired right here on WXOW's Decades Channel 19.2 and live streamed on our website and over on our news app. Well, on June 20th of this year, the Wisconsin Department of Revenue filed a tax warrant with the La Crosse County Circuit Court for a missing payment from State Representative Jill Billings. Billings is now providing clarification on the status of her income taxes, saying the delinquency has been paid. A confirmation email provided to News 19 by the Billings team says the Department of Revenue received a check for the amount owed on October 6th. After processing, the email says Billings satisfied the amount owed on October 10th. A statement from Representative Billings says a mistake was made, paperwork was missed, and my income taxes were late. The taxes and fees owed have been paid in full to the Department of Revenue. The tax delinquency is still active on the Department of Revenue website. However, an individual in the Revenue Office says tax delinquencies can take several weeks after payments to be resolved. The Wisconsin Circuit Court Access website still shows the tax warrant is not satisfied. According to the La Crosse County Clerk of Courts, the warrant is marked satisfied when the county receives notification from the state saying that a tax delinquency has been settled, which, as mentioned, may take some time. Well, in a few hours, the House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th attack on the Capitol is preparing for what will likely be their final public hearing. Committee members say they hope to show the U.S. is experiencing a clear and present danger to democracy. They'll show new evidence they say links former President Donald Trump to efforts to overturn the election. Committee member Jamie Raskin says they plan to show ties between extremist and Trump allies Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, and Steve Bannon. Trump pardoned all three before leaving office.
The mob was led by some extremist groups. They plotted in advance what they were going to do, and those individuals were known to people in the Trump orbit.
The American people have never seen anything like this in our lifetimes.
We'll have live coverage of that hearing this afternoon at noon Central Time, right after our midday broadcast. We'll take a look at this severe storm sweep through southeast Wisconsin that triggered tornado warnings in the Milwaukee area. Storm spotters are reporting that 3 tornadoes touched down yesterday. Right now you're seeing footage from Waukesha County where a tornado reportedly touched down in Merton. The weather yesterday acting as an interruption in the trial of Darrell Brooks. Prosecutors called several witnesses who were either spectators or parade participants to the stand on Wednesday. Brooks, acting as his own attorney, was cross-examining a witness when the judge interrupted him because of severe weather in the area. The trial was paused for an early lunch to allow for the weather to pass. Brooks is accused of 76 criminal counts, including 6 charges of first-degree intentional homicide tied to the Waukesha Christmas parade tragedy back in November of 2021. Well, soon kids as young as 5 in Wisconsin will be able to get the new bivalent COVID booster. The FDA just approved the booster, but it still needs state approval and guidance before the booster can be distributed. Health officials say that unlike other boosters, the bivalent booster covers the newer Omicron variant as well as any of the previous variants and is aimed at preventing kids from having any serious symptoms.
You know, children in that age group, they don't necessarily always get sick, but some of them may have underlying health conditions that maybe they're not even aware of. And so then this protects them not necessarily from not getting it, but from not having severe outcomes from getting the COVID-19 virus.
Over 11 million doses of the vaccine have been distributed to Wisconsinites, according to Our World in Data. Check out artwork that can also keep you warm at the upcoming Quiltfest. We'll have that preview. Plus, help celebrate one of Wisconsin's most popular wineries this weekend. It's only a short drive away.
WXOW. This is La Crosse's own News 19 Daybreak.
Find warmth from the cold in the form of a quilt this month. The La Crosse Area Quilt Guild will host a quilt show next weekend, and joining us with a preview of the upcoming show, we do have Stephanie and Shelly joining us this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Morning. Good morning.
So we have this beautiful quilt right here. Shelly, what is the purpose of this quilt?
Well, we're selling raffle tickets for it. We have previously sold them, and at the quilt show we will be selling them. So $1 a ticket, and you could win this beautiful quilt.
And did you make the showing?
A group of us did. We got together and worked on it together.
It's absolutely beautiful. I do have to say, I love all the different colors and designs and patterns. That's just probably one of many quilts that we're going to see at Quiltfest.
Oh yeah, we have over 200 entries.
Wow.
Yeah.
200 vendors or 200 entries of quilts?
Entries.
2 entries of quilted items.
Wow. So if you're in need of a quilt, this is the place to be.
Well, you can see them, and they'll have we have a marketplace that will have some items for sale on the marketplace.
And it's a great opportunity, Stephanie, to go and browse and walk around and talk with some of the vendors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have, 9 vendors that will be there selling quilting things, and then all the quilts hanging, so that we can see them.
So for people who aren't familiar with quilts, or maybe, haven't made one or haven't really been introduced to one, why should they come on out to something like this?
Well, it's a good experience because they can see the different styles they are, and it's basically it's art.
Yes.
So that the people that are interested in any other kind of art things, these are very good inspiration. We have 2 ladies that are specialty displays. Joan Yateman, she has a display of her quilts, and she is a color lady.
Yeah.
She knows how to blend them. And then we have Joyce Abernathy, and she does the consignment ones. So she does a lot of scenery ones, and she does banners and stuff for churches around town.
So it's certainly a nice diversity of some of the colors that you'll be seeing upcoming at the Quiltfest. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. There's a lot going on. And ladies, I really want to thank you for coming in this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for having us.